We're back once again. We're doing an unboxing video. As you can tell from the thumbnail, it's of Cursed City, which I managed to get a copy of. My camera, right there, use it. I managed to get a copy of this when it came out, actually, because I have a good friend who works in a toy shop that I used to work at. So through him I managed to get it, which is actually quite good because it doesn't exist anymore. Obviously there's a lot of controversy over the game about whether it exists and whether, Games Workshop or whether it's gone. I mean, Games Workshop officially have said that it's not going to be on their line now. Everything building up to it seemed to say that it was going to be on their line for the foreseeable future, like Blackstone Fortress. I don't know the truth of it, obviously, I'm not inside. I feel like they're probably going to do a relaunch, personally. I feel like Brexit and various other things, the pandemic has messed them up. I think unfortunately, they are selling the models, or they were selling the models, very briefly, online only, as separate Radical's Court and everything. So they still have the thing for the models. I think it's through new trade negotiations where over a percentage of it was made outside the UK, the cardboard components, but I don't know for sure. That could be wrong. I personally think that they will get an English printer again, and then they'll relaunch this, which is why they've taken everything off the site for it for the minute, and they've said it's not going to be available for the foreseeable future because they don't know when that's going to be. But I do think that they're going to relaunch it, hopefully, which means that we can then get hold of the expansions. I mean, they have released Radical the Beast and Belladama Volca, which I think were probably going to be expansions for this, but now are not going to be. I'm going to pick them up at some point. At some point they'll make custom cards. Someone on the internet will make custom cards. I think Radical's like second form would be quite cool. But yeah, as you can see, I've got the box game here. I bought that through my friend at the toy shop, and I bought this from the website. So I do have 100% of everything for them at the minute, apart from the key, which I'm not massively fussed by because it has no gameplay value. It's just a collectible key. Would have been cool, but with having this book, obviously I got the envelope with the extra character in there, which I haven't put in the game just yet. I keep forgetting. I will do so. I don't have the model for him, Morval Albrecht, mainly because I don't really want to buy the Empire Battle Wizard box just for one model. So what I'm going to do is use the old, the Necromancer from the Vampire Counts kind of stuff, because he looks like old and wizened, and his staff comes over in a crook shape at the top, similar to the scythe effect of that one. I'm not really. I might use him. He's an optional character. It'd be nice to have, but yeah. So I've got that one sitting there. The reason I'm doing this video is I have these box here as well. These are bases. Let me see if I can just plot that for a minute, and I'll show you some. I got these off of eBay. I decided I was torn between, am I going to do like a paint effect? Am I going to do something to the bases to make it look like a city? Even foam or something, and I couldn't really decide, to be honest with you. So I got these, which are a lovely little kind of effect. There's two types, so they're 25mm or 28mm, I can't remember. But I got two different things, so I have multiple sizes for the models in it. I'm marked out how many I would need. I may have undercounted, in which case I'll be going back to eBay. But as you can see, I've got some. Let's see a different one. Some are in the kind of cobblestone street style, some are in this kind of like a dungeon style, which is pretty cool. So the way I have it planned in my head is to give all the base monsters, so like all the zombies, all the skeletons, the cobblestone kind of stuff, all the rat swarms and stuff like going through the streets, and then have the flagstone ones. Flagstone's ones are all in different sizes. So I've got some in the hero sizes to make them stand out a bit. I think I was doing the 40mm villains as them as well, just to make them stand out a bit. And the same with the big monster, the Vargas skier, I think it is. We'll see. The equivalent to the Vargulf, the big nasty one. He's got his own base. He's a 50mm, if I remember correctly. But I've done him in the dungeon style, like he's just been released from the dungeon, but that's his home. I just wanted something to look a little bit differently. If I do paint this, I want to paint it, but things have changed recently, or might be changing recently, so I might not be able to. I'd like to. When I say things have changed, it's a combination of outside things and myself. I don't really trust my painting ability anymore due to recent medical issues. I don't really know how well I can paint. I don't know whether I need to start on something small. I don't really want to paint this until I'm sure of my painting, because otherwise I'll make it look rubbish. So I might start with something small, that from a game or something I don't mind painting, like some spare Space Marines or something, spare Stormcast or something, so that I can just get my painting skill back up to where I want it to be. So kind of know how I want the people to look. But yeah, so I am very, very lucky to have this, because you can't get this anymore. You can't get it on the Games Workshop website, which is where I was originally going to order it from. But luckily, thanks to Scott, I managed to avoid that, which is actually very lucky, because when it went live, because there's been so much hype about it for weeks, when the store went live at 10 o'clock on that Saturday, it crashed. The whole web store crashed. It took everything with it. So I managed to get the book, which is good. Sadly, I also bought a double copy of a book which I already owned, but forgot I'd owned. But oh well. Yeah, Scott got me this through his store, so thank you very much, Scott. Desco Inferno, really appreciate it. I'm very, very happy with it. I do want to paint it, but I don't trust my abilities, and I don't know if I'm going to have the time now. But I don't trust my abilities, to be honest. I'm hoping I can get back up to scratch again for painting. I mean, I love this. I mean, looking at the artwork for it, if you look, there's a little bit disappointing that it's one of the big box games, but it doesn't come that in Speed Freaks. Everything from Speed Freaks really has come with the cover art inside on a piece of cardboard, like to frame, which I'm a bit disappointed this one doesn't, because I would have loved this frame, because it's gorgeous art. It's one of the things that sold me on it, to be honest with you, when in the weeks leading up to it. I love the idea of the game anyway, but the artwork's really gorgeous. Anyway, let's get opening it, shall we? It's a what's inside video after all. Let's put the camera down. Okay. So, tricky because I'm on the sofa. I'll do that. Right, so we'll open it up. Box lid comes off. Come on, you. There we go. Models first on the top. I have already opened it and gone through it. I've not opened up the original cards and components until obviously I'm going to play it. So, but I have opened up bits for the sea, and it's quite cool. So, this is the Radikar sprue, I believe, because it's his sword. Very cool sprue. I know in the run up they were saying that he was an ogre in the Twitch stream. It was actually I think it's a guy misspeaking. He's actually just a really big human. So if put next to his guard, he's obviously smaller, but he's quite cool. The Radikar the Beast is quite interesting because it's a lot bigger as well. So it's like the next stage. So that's why I'm going to buy it, because someone will have made custom cards like the Albrecht one you just saw. Someone will have made a custom card for Radikar the Beast, Belladama Volker. So it's like the idea. I think that was going to be. I like the idea that was going to be an expansion, because it makes a lot of sense. Like in Blackstone Fortress, we had the Escalation expansion, which brought the main villain back again, and it kind of makes sense for him to come back again, because this guy to come back again, Radikar, because Radikar's a vampire, so for him to come back more powerful. But yeah, so that's the sprue, as you can see. Very, very detailed. All the models are incredibly detailed. It's very, very good. Let's just put that there for now. Here's one of the sprues for the bad guys. You get 3 bad guy sprues. As you can see, there's his Korsagi guard, the ogres. This is the kind of one interesting side because it's all the pegs and such. So let's just strip it round. There you go. Yeah, so there's the Korsagi guard, but they are bigger than Radical. They are zombie ogres. That's the one I mentioned earlier on the. I think it's Vogskaiger or something similar. That's one of the little guys. What's I miss here? That's one of the little guys that's like perched on a column. They're one of the wolfy, half wolfy vampires. Kind of one of the big things that I like for this as well, because they introduced the vampire dynasty based on wolves. Like they were the sires of wolves. I think the thing for Belladonna Volga is that she was asked or something, and she took on the power of it or something similar. It's kind of very similar to, obviously people who remember, very similar to the von Karstein family. Here's a second sprue. This is mostly zombies and skellies. You can see there. The skellies, I mean, I love the kind of spears and shields. They're absolutely great. A lot of people did not like the zombies on the thing for release. They were saying they look stupid because of the. Oh, actually no, this is some skellies, some zombies, and obviously some swarms as well. So there's rats and bats and other things. Yeah, people were saying they didn't like the zombies because of the gravestones put through them. I really enjoy them. I think they're quite flavourful that way. I think it very much plays into a kind of like an Eastern European culture of like, you make sure the body's dead. These sprues, I should point out, also have things on them like this little hangman here, who is who's an objective marker. I know the internet was going particularly mad for that one there. You can see it. This is zombie cat. And then there's also a little imp guy with a big butt, which everyone's like, oh my god, look at the imp's butt. It's quite funny. Yeah, they didn't like the zombies because it was the gravestones on the back. So like you see the gravestones, they attach to the zombies. I like it. This is supposed to be a city where the dead are rising, and these are commoners or nobles. There's the imp. There's his little butt, the limb butt. There. Yeah, sorry. So you get 2 sprues of them, which are identical, and then you get the sprue with the Korsagi and the Vagskaya and the guys on the wolf guys there. Yeah, so people didn't like it because they think it looked stupid and over-designed. I quite like it because it adds that thing of like, you need to keep the body buried, and people are like, well, why is the stake on? Why is it on the back? And again, it plays into that thing of burying a body face down. I really enjoy it because there's a lot in our world history about, you bury a body face down so that it's confused if it rises from the grave, or you stake it through the heart to make sure it's dead. I quite like that. And in this case, it's actually part of the gravestone. When they're digging the graves, when they make the gravestone for the person, they just jam it into the person, and it's just to make sure they're dead. It's symbolic more than anything, but I really like it. To my earlier point about the wolves, it's very much like the von Karsteins. It seems like the new story for the Vampire Counts is with Nagash being knocked down, Nagash being smacked down by Teclis. The Vampire Counts have decided to take power for themselves, so the dynasties have risen up. The guys in this Radikar and everything were supposed to be part of their own dynasty, which make me think again why it's going to be part of their long-term plans. They were going to be part of one of the 5 dynasties because the von Karsteins are kind of already represented because the Larmians are in it because of obviously Neferata. Thingy von Karstein, Manfred von Karstein is Legion of Night. So they still have 3. Was the flesh-eating cannibal ghouls have kind of become their own army now, where they used to just be Strigoi, now they're their own army, which is the flesh-eater cause. So they had three to mix up. So these were going to be one of them, descendant from like vampires who shed the power with wolves. I don't really know much of the story, I must admit. I'm probably going to pick up the book just to have a quick read of it. Yeah, I think it's very cool. So you see a lot of wolfy stuff, like the big wolf there is the big obvious one, obviously, and then you've got the little guys perched on top of pillars and such, and you can see the like wolf feet. Belladama Volka's got like wolf feet herself. But yeah, anyway, so onto the heroes. White sprue for the heroes, very nice. This sprue contains the big guy and the little guy, so it's got the ogre, my favourite, Brutog Man-Eater, Corpse Eater, sorry, with his lovely shoulder pad, which I saw a great idea for, which I'm going to do, like an Oni, like a red pad, like a gold face maybe, or a red face with a black pad, so it really stands out like a demon, like a Japanese demon. It's also got the dwarf on, again that's the two sides for you. The instructions are quite funny because they kind of come with a misprint for the dwarf, because it looks like on the original instructions it says to put one piece before another, and it won't fit together that way. But yeah, so there's the dwarf and the ogre. You've got the rest of the heroes here, obviously apart from Albrecht, who came with the book, who I'm just using a separate model for. So I can't remember all of the names right now, so do forgive me. But there's the kind of human wizard, I think she is, the elven rangery guy. There's the bow side of it. One of my favourites is, of course, the big woman, that's here. I'm gonna paint her armor when I want to do it, when I can do it. My idea is to paint it gold, to have a big like an armor like gold, brightest I can make it, like not just yellow but bright gold, like she's like the golden comet to come to the city to cleanse it. So I've been looking up some tutorials I was looking at tutorials anyway. But I like the idea of her just being like a golden comet. Like Brutog and the others will have dirt and stuff on their armour, but I like the idea of hers keeping hers clean as I can, as bright as I can. For the rest of them, obviously like a brown wash or something, show the dirt and the grime. For her, just like a pure gold. But yeah, so there's the rest of the guys. I mean, you know, you've got the there's the nobleman body there with his nice floppy coat. I think that's Jelson Darrock, the witch hunter. That's his backpack with his massive sword. Yeah, there's the rest of the noble. That's going to be interesting to put together. He's got like a flappy bit there. I do wonder sometimes with them putting this stuff together, it's like a lot of this is push fit, so it's designed to obviously go together very easily. But I do wonder with some of the more flappy bits how they're going to go together. Yeah, this is the piece of card that comes with it. Usually it's the printed artwork of the box. I'm a little disappointed it's not, like I said, just plain black. I think it's just to protect the models, which is fine. But I kind of wanted the artwork, so I was going to frame it now with it. Then when I saw that it wasn't, I was going to buy a print of it, so I might have to buy like another print somewhere else from it, because I don't think Workshop will be selling them. Here's instructions for construction instructions. But yeah, so there's obviously how to put everything together. Jelson Darrock, Emeralda Braskoff, that's it, yeah, because that's the actual paint scheme for her there. Silvered armour with white cloth, but I'm going to do gold, like burning gold, bright gold. Quel'This the Exile. These were the extra rules that I mentioned, because it looks like the dwarf in the original rules for him. It's something to do with his face, I believe. I think if you put a piece of his stuff, yeah, I think it's something to do with his face. If you put a piece of him before another, it won't fit, essentially. So yeah, I'm going to follow those instructions for today. Brutog Man-Eater, Corpse Eater, if not, probably eats men, to be fair. Probably does both. But yeah, there's a red only thing there. I've seen a nice picture of it doing like a real nice red face for it. I might do black and red, which I think will look really nice. But yeah, here's all the characters construction, but also obviously the bad guys instructions. So you get the good guys up to a certain point, and then it switches to Radikal, Torgilus, of course I get Night Guard, Vikros Bloodborne, there you go. Was it Vagskir? It was Vagskir for the big one. Well, that's very good. So yeah, so he's essentially a Vargulf, the big guy is, with the little ones being like part wolf. I guess they're. I think the idea is that they're younger than Redekar, that they can't control the change as much, so they show a lot of their wolfen side. There's the zombies, as you can see. They go together. They've got kind of a flat spur on the back, as you can see. And then you put the gravestone on. I like the gravestones. That's what they look like. People say they were over designed or rubbish like that. I really like it. You know, I think, you know, it's these crippled undead. You just want them quickly in the ground and not to come back. This is in the realm of death, so that's, yeah, wanting the moon. I really like it. I think it just adds a lot to it. Like, you get them in the ground, make sure they don't come back, and it mirrors our own history very, very much. There's the Orphan Watch at the bottom, the skelly guys. That's how they should look. Obviously all together. And there's also putting together their captain and stuff as well. There's the different objective markers, which would actually be really good. I mean, obviously the swarms and stuff are there as well. The objective markers would be really good for games of Age of Sigmar, really, as well, if you think about it. Skeletons pointing direction, little imp with a book, that kind of stuff. Yeah. Then we have advert for the book, which does have a little bit of clean artwork on the back, so you could frame that, I suppose. Not quite as nice as the big as the main one, but you could frame that, I suppose. I obviously have the book, so advert's fine. Here is the sealed envelope, still sealed because we have not played it yet. I don't know when we're going to get a chance to play it, if I can understand the rules in a minute. That's the big thing. But that's staying sealed, like my Blackstone Fortress one. I haven't played a game of Blackstone Fortress yet. My main worry is that I can't take the rules in anymore. I don't really want to. I can't take the rules in. I can't paint the models. Everything's going to look rubbish, and I'm going to play rubbish. But still, you know, it does come with bases. Obviously, plain black. They've got a hole for a peg on the feet. Main ones seem to be slaughter bases, apart from the really big stuff. I'm not going to use these. I bought something like 20 quid on the ones that I bought. So it'll probably be a case of, in the case of slaughter bases, snipping it off just at the feet, the slaughter base, so I can stick them onto my own guys. Same with the peg on the little ones, snipping off the peg so I can stick them onto my own bases. The dice. They've turned the Blackstone dice, that was basically a D20, into a D10, which I kind of agree with, because looking at a lot of the card abilities I can see, a lot of it is just about, space that must be for the Wagaski, the big guy. A lot of it is about condensing, like, so if you see like the movement actions on the Blackstone Fortress ones, they have a D20 because there's stuff that can happen in that range. But really, if there's only 10 actions, then you need a 10-sided dice, which I think is the thing here. I have heard reports that it's very less challenging to play than Blackstone, but again, I don't know. I really like it. I like the idea and the theme of it. I quite like it less challenging and streamlined, in all fairness, for me. But yeah, there's the thing for the dice. Critical success, 1 success, no success. Sorry. Critical. I keep putting my hands a bit higher than the camera, so 1 success and no success. D6s, D10 there at the bottom. You say, you need 10 actions, you need 10-sided dice. No point in having a card that has the equivalent of 10 actions on it and just doing like doubling up on actions. No real point to that. So the cards, Discovery, Empowerment. There's the Radical. I do think at some point, if it hasn't happened already, I'll be very surprised, because the internet is full of very clever and very quick people. I do think there will be a version of that for like Radical the Beast, where it's like, you know, this is a second form or something, or when you beat this form, flip over, because you are supposed to, when they get empowered, flip the card over. So if maybe instead of flipping it over, you get put the Radical the Beast on, and that's your actual final boss fight. So I think it's him powering up. That would be very cool. Second stage kind of boss fight would be very cool. Rulebooks. So you've got Cursed City. Read this first. Cursed City quest book. War Scrolls for use in Age of Sigmar, which I don't actually know how these ones are going to work because the new version of Age of Sigmar is coming out Saturday, I believe. Dominion. So how that's going to work, I don't know. They'll already be. They have said Old Warswell should work with a new edition. So here's the boards. Very nice, very detailed, very and there's all tokens and stuff. That's the it's too big for the screen. That there is the daytime tracker. So if you're playing the game, there's I think there's a portion of it, a mechanic of it, where it moves around, essentially outside. When it gets to the night time, things become more powerful. So that's when you flip the bad guy cards over, like the vamp, everything like bat swarms, rat swarms. They all become more powerful at night, which is quite interesting. Gives you a ticking clock mechanic. Yeah, I like the boards. They're very much like Warhammer Quest. One day own, but I don't at the moment. And then at the bottom we have a load of baggies, which is quite useful. I have seen for this, and I am going to buy for this. Well, I intended to buy for this. If I'm not going to play it, I don't know. Felder do it's about £30, but they do like they did for Blackstone Fortress, which was a foam tray separator thing. So you put it in the game box itself. It fits the game box, and you can put your models in, and this section for your dice and your cards and everything. It's very good actually. The one I got for Blackstone Fortress is very cool. It allowed me to put the models together. I really like it because it gives you that thing of when you put the models together, it's somewhere to put them, as opposed to just like having as opposed to like having how can I put it, like loads of loose models in a cabinet or on a shelf, or even a carry case where you have to constantly take a carry case, with you to play it, or whatever under a carry case to get stuff out. You can just instead go, well, I've got it's everything in the box. That's quite useful. I know Felder did one for the expansions as well. Obviously, with the state of Cursed City at the moment, there's no expansions. Just put this back gently. As I said, I personally believe they will be expansions eventually. I think a big problem is obviously them not having a UK printer, so with it having to come from abroad, a lot of the cardboard content they're getting kind of tariffed on. I do think they will release Cursed City. I don't think it will be as it is as I got it. I think that when they re-release Cursed City, it's going to either be more expensive due to having to come through an English printer, or paying the tariffs on the Brexit taxes for the same amount of content, or there might be less content. Neither of which is very good, obviously. I would prefer them to keep it as it is, but it's what it is. You've got to do that. However, I do think that when they do the relaunch of it, that when they get English printed, they do the relaunch of it, that's when we can see the expansions. Now, I do think that what will probably happen is that Radikar the Beast, if it is an expansion, same with Belladam Volca, if it is an expansion, will come off of the shelves, off of the web store, and then be re-released in their intended expansions. But who knows? I mean, a lot of people are saying because Radikar's a 60mm base, the Radikar the Beast is 60mm base, that's not going to happen because he is a massive figure. He's bigger than that one, certainly, about the same size as the I think he's a bit bigger than the Volskaya. He won't fit in on the tiles, so he wasn't intended to be an expansion, is what people are saying. But I don't know whether that's true, whether that's people consoling themselves, etc. I mean, if you're making him bigger, yes, he would make up 4 tiles, but if he was coming with an expansion, they would have made the tiles to fit it. Or just making so it fits 4 tiles, and only one guy can fight him, get in a corner or something in a room. It's hard to fight, sort of thing, or you have to lure him into a bigger area so that you can all fight him. Stuff like that, I think, would work. But I am going to pick up, even though I'm not painting, I am going to pick up the Beldama, even I've said it wrong in the entire video, I'm sorry. Beldama and Radikar, just to have. And if they do release them as expansions, I might do that as well. It depends what the situation's like. As I said at the minute, I haven't painted in a while. I don't trust what my painting's like at the moment, so I've not touched Blackstone or this. And if I can't paint the models up, I mean, you can still play with that painting, obviously, spray them, that's fine. But I'd like the models to be painted before I play this, so this may never get played, which would be a damn shame. It may be like a lot of my board games. Yeah, it may just be my board games where I can't take the rules in. If I can't understand the rules, or I can't, because I get very frustrated with things now, if I can't understand the rules, or if I, get them wrong, or can't paint or whatever, it may just end up going into storage to keep it safe, wrapped up, keep safe down in our storage locker. It may just go into that to keep it safe, in all fairness, because that would be one way to keep everything safe. But I don't actually know what's going to happen. I was hoping, with me getting the bases, I was hoping I was going to paint this up, but to be fair, I had the same hopes for Blackstone, so even before this was not. And I bought so much stuff for Blackstone. I bought every expansion, barring No Respite and some of the card ones, which I cannot find for a decent price. Like, No Respite goes for £200, which I will not pay. But that's a lot of painting, even without the expansion and without, the card stock is card stock, but even without them, there's a lot of painting. A lot of painting in this one as well, that's the point. There's a lot of models. It's worth the money. If you do see one in a local game store, you won't really see one in workshop now at this point. There were a few on the shelves, but they were gone by this point. You probably won't find them in local game stores now, to be honest with you. This was at least months old at this point. If you do see one, I'd pick it up. I wouldn't be one of those people who scalps on the internet, because I don't like those people. I just pick it up to paint it, to play it. If you have the opportunity to and the money to, get it at a normal price, do so. Don't pay scalpers. Don't give them the time of day. Because people are selling off the individual pieces of this set for ridiculous prices because they can't be bought. I don't know. But yeah, so that's everything that's inside Cursed City. That's my what's inside video done. If I do paint this, I'll come up with a name. Obviously, if you're watching this, please put comments in the section below about a name for the stuff. But yeah, that's everything in Cursed City. So hopefully I can get it painted. I have an image of like her being in my mind the most is the kind of golden bright comet blue cloth work, but like a golden bright comet, like the main Stormcast kind of theme, but even brighter. She's the comet going into the city to purge it, sort of thing. But I love the theme of it. I loved Warhammer Quest back in the day. I absolutely loved it. I did love Blackstone Fortress. I love the idea of it, even though I've never played it. I love the idea of it, the Warhammer Quest mechanics, but in space. I loved it. I love the idea of this one, kind of introducing the new bloodline of vampires. So yeah, if I get the chance, it is on my put together and Pennington playlist, but it's probably not. If I do put it together, I do want to get the Felter tray for it. That's true, but I must admit, at the minute, it's probably not going to be painted and played. It's probably just going to sit on the shelf, which is a shame, I must admit. But still, thank you very much for watching. If you have watched me ramble this far, I do appreciate it. Hopefully in the future you'll see some of these models painted up and on the tabletop.